Howdy Daydreamers and welcome to Dakota Daydreams. I'm Dakota and today I present the Bedside Garden episode 9. That's right, episode 9. We've been doing this for over 2 months and we've made it to over 25 subscribers. I think it was 26 last time I checked, so I just wanted to take a moment to breathe and say thank you to everyone who has joined and is watching and that's sharing the journey into gardening with me, because I started knowing absolutely nothing about these plants and just doing my best, and I keep doing it every week. But hitting a milestone means it's time for some shout outs. So I'd just like to say thank you to my partner who listens to me talk about these plants constantly and still shows up to watch the videos. To Mike's Chaotic Gardening for usually being one of my first comments on most of my videos so far. And to the Garden Doll for sending me seeds the same day Mr. Odom mailed those big sticks, but I think they're stuck behind some of the seed swaps going on. So thank you everyone, and make sure to stick around for the end of this video for a special surprise for the 9th episode. So shortly after my last week's video went up, Mike the Chaotic Gardener left a comment to check how moist my sponges were, and I found out that the bottom of the zinnia was completely gone and had started to decay on me, so I had to go ahead and pull that one out. And I decided to check the Snapdragon while I was at it just to see, and the sponge had already started to turn. So I was thinking about it, and it looks like it started in the sponge for both of them. And then I was thinking about it again. Excuse me. Thinking about it again, and I realized those were the two sponges I did not soak. I was just excited. I just whacked them into the cups and put seeds in them. So remember to soak your sponges, sterilize them, whatever way works for you. For me, it's hydrogen peroxide. So I went ahead and grabbed my peroxide and just spot checked any of the other cups, put a couple drops on any spots that looked the wrong kind of fuzzy, and put a little bit into the water as well to help keep anything icky from settling on the nice healthy vegetables. But what can I do to pass time while I wait to see if that works or saves the vegetables? Catalog of the week. And yes, I know this is West Coast Seeds again, but I saw something new in it that I want to share, and I do still have another new catalog for later. Don't worry though, they're both short. So last week I was talking about how the articles in West Coast Seeds catalog makes it feel kind of like a magazine about vegetables too. Well, this week I was reading through it as a magazine for a little while, and I realized they provide us with their YouTube channels or Instagrams. So I wanted to share some of the new channels I found from this catalog, starting with Miss Ashley at Gardening in Canada, who uses her channel to explain ways the average gardener can apply science and scientific methods to their garden for better results. Or Chef Una Lee at Clara's Canning Co., who shares her canning journey and recipes with us. Hatchet and Seed teaches us how to uh, use permaculture principles to create an established garden that cultivates itself after we get it started. And y'all check out my description because I have links to all of these channels and a couple more I found between pages while I was editing. Miss Kim, a leading authority on climate change resilient gardening, which sounds amazing. I'll be checking out her site and linking to her Instagram. 'Cause I'm not on Instagram, but y'all let me know how it is. Aiko Sasari at the Replanted Farm on Instagram or Facebook. and the Zucchini Wives, who either have their own site or they're on Instagram as well. And I wanted to share that I found so many different creators from a seed catalog. Like, does that count as having idea seeds? Y'all let me know in the comments. Alright, so I have two seed sponges out because I've noticed that the mango melon has rooted out, and I've actually let it be rooted for a couple of days. And now I'm gonna double check for a minute, and I'm sorry it's off screen, but I don't want to tell anybody wrong. But does anybody see a little green sparkle in this cup? Because it's hard to get it on camera, but one of the strawberries hasn't just rooted, it's come completely out of the seed and is just free floating, truly, or seed leaves and all. And after I got the strawberry into the hydroponics, there was a piece in the cup that I could not tell if it was an empty seed hole or a very pale baby plant. So I just dumped the whole thing into this pot and pulled out that marigold that had been drying out because I think it was gone and it was time to let go of it. So I pulled it out and put some strawberries in there. So I got my seed tweezers, and the strawberry was too little to show up on camera on those at all, but I got a picture of our mango melon seed, and I let it root out for a couple more days than the last one to see if the root was a little older, a little bit stronger, it would fare better in the hydroponics. But if this one doesn't work that way, I'm gonna start the next one in the seed pot that I have started from the strawberry seeds and the onion seeds and see how that does, because I can't start it outside yet because my weather can't decide when the last frost is. It's gone from being Valentine's Day to the 18th, the 19th, 20th. It can't decide when the last frost is, so I'm keeping the plants indoors for now. So I gave everything a misting, and with the issues I've been having, I'm just putting the cap on the strawberry for now because of how small it is, and everything else I'm just going to try to mist regularly instead of having the cap on it and see if that helps as well. So I've been having to drip treat these three spinaches with peroxide about every other day, 2 or 3 drips each. And I'm really hoping that they either get strong enough to fight it off or something soon because they're stressing me out. So while they figure out what they're gonna do, I'm gonna share a new catalog with you. This one is Wood Prairie Organic, and they are mainly a potato catalog with some other seeds. They have a good stock of other seeds, but their specialty is the seed potatoes. Let's take a look. So in their opening spread, in addition to, their certifications, which are slightly covered by my helpful rock to hold the page still while I'm trying to get a picture, um, it has got the table of contents and their new stuff. But my favorite parts are the family picture of the family that owns the farm that the potatoes and seeds come from, and this little 4 reasons why you'll love us section, where they tell us that they think their seeds are the best because they grow them themselves and ship all year round. And they're 100% dedicated to organic seeds, which I think is cool. And I just want to clarify, I'm not sponsored or anything by anybody. I just enjoy sharing and reading catalogs. Once we make it through their introductions and some pages on tips and tricks, we're greeted with the potato matrix, is what I'm calling it, where we have the type of potato and then this grid on the other side that tells us all kinds of information. So let's get a closer look. That's a lot of data. In order from left to right, it tells us the maturity, the size of the plant, the color of skin, color of flesh, tuber shape, eating quality, tuber set, yield, dormancy, color of the flower, tuber L blight tolerance. I don't know potatoes well enough. If someone could tell me what that means in the comments, I would appreciate it. Scab resistance, suggested end-row spacing, and ease of growing. That that's a lot of information, and they made a really nice chart for it, I feel like. They had so many potatoes I had never heard of, but I picked a couple of my favorites to share, like the Huckleberry Gold, the Adirondack Blue, and also that variety has a red that's a red on the inside of the potato flesh as well, which I think would be cool because like, I've heard of blue potatoes, but I haven't really heard of red potatoes. And now part of me is thinking if I grew them both and made them together, would that be purple mashed potatoes? And I'm thinking, probably. And then they had these elbow white potatoes that are all white inside and out, and I thought it looked really cool, honestly. They also included really useful articles for potato newbies like me about green sprouting and what people mean when they say a potato is moist or dry and what those potatoes are used for and how to figure out which type of potato you need to grow based off of how you like to cook your potatoes. And while their flowers and vegetables were well stocked and seemed to be pretty fairly representative of most types of vegetables and flowers I've seen in gardening sections and catalogs, their potatoes are the only ones I really saw anything super exotic in today. Except for the Tapmaster radish, which is apparently an organic biofumigant. Now that means that when it grows in the soil, it makes the icky nasty things that live in soil not want to be around it. So instead of going into your plants, the pathogenic nematodes or even funguses will grow elsewhere away from them. So Tapmaster radish is pretty dang unique and cool. If you saw something you liked and want to check it out yourself, the link to the Wood Prairie Organics catalog will be in the description of the video. So my partner and I were at Walmart, and I mentioned wanting a different fertilizer because honestly, my spinaches just looked hungry to me. I don't know how else to explain it. They were floppy, and it's like they just didn't know there were nutrients below them because there weren't enough or something. And as soon as I start talking about that, my partner reaches slightly to the left and finds a pound and a half of water-soluble fertilizer for I think it was like 3.80 something, under $4, maybe about $4 after taxes. And honestly, the analysis on it reads a bit like I want the nutrition facts on my vegetables to look, so I figured I would try it out. Now, I'm not saying it's a great idea. I'm not saying it's gonna go well. Because while it does say it has instructions for indoor plants and what it calls continuous application, I don't know if it means hydroponics. So just a disclaimer, this is an experiment. Don't jump on to trying to copy me or nothing right now because I don't know how it's gonna go. But feel free to watch along and see how it goes with me. It looks like one of the plant foods I've seen for hydroponics. It's just packaged differently. Let me show y'all what it looks like on the spoon. So it's just these little blue crystals and just a little tiny bit. I'm using the amount it says for continuous application, just in case it does mean hydroponics by that. I'm not sure, but it looks right, it feels right, and I'm just gonna add it into the system slowly while the pump is running to mix it in, because there's too much water in it for me to want to water mix it outside of the system right now, because it's still basically full. I gotta get nutrition in the water so the roots know where to go so they can start drinking, you know? And while I was fertilizing those, I went ahead and I've been having to water these with my spritz sprayer, just making sure it's up against the dirt, 'cause I can't actually get water into the plant spa part under it without making a mess somehow. I don't know if it's probably me personally, but I probably need to get like a watering can that's got like a thin little neck on it or something to actually get water into it without it splashing back from hitting it in too fast like it is with the water bottles I've been using. But for now, just using that part as a built-in drip tray is working pretty well, I think. Yo, look what my partner found at the Dollar General. I had wandered off to find something and turned around and my partner wasn't there. And when I found them, they were messing with this thing and asked me if I wanted it. And I was like, are you kidding? It would look gorgeous on the garden. So now it's on the garden and it's our little day tracker. And then I've had to pull out an onion and one of the tomatoes because they looked awful when I looked down from setting up the clock date thing. Making this here my last tomato in the tomato challenge. So hopefully it takes a turn for the better in the next couple days, or I might be out of the challenge this year. I've also had to pull the middle spinach, but the other two are doing much better. The middle one had gotten the same white fuzz that keeps popping up on every seed that decides to quit. I'm not really sure why, but just a thing. But the good news is the two that are surviving are perking up, and I'm up from having 2 out of 12 seeds I first planted come up to two-thirds of the spinach survived an attempt at treatment. And I'm not sure if this morning glory is just slow growing or stalled out. I want to give it a few more days before deciding, but I did put the seed cap back over the mango melon because it looked like it was drying out and not ready to let go of the leaves. So hopefully that fixes it. We'll see. To cope with the stress of plant loss this week, I planted some more seeds. Well, more accurately, I started them in my little germination cup. I'm gonna see if the peas do any better this way, because last time it just looked like they never absorbed enough moisture that way, so maybe if I soak them until they root, I can get some peas. I still haven't seen any parsley roots, but I'm keeping an eye out for them, and I try to make sure to keep the water swished around over them so none of them get stuck to the side or dry out or anything. And hopefully they root soon, but if they take too much longer, they might just get added to the potto seeds I have started. And the figs are still doing well. One of them was even feeling well enough to try skydiving this week. I think my sleeve had caught it while I was trying to work on something and it flipped over. And I think it's still okay. It looks like it only lost one little bud, and it was one that was starting to kind of turn brown anyway. So maybe it helped. I don't know. Y'all remember the special surprise I mentioned at the beginning? Well, guess what? Today I would like to present my challenge to the gardening community, the Flowers Everlasting Challenge, or hashtag Flowers Everlasting 2025. The name of the game is to get a picture of a flower, any flower, whether you know what it is or not, fruit, vegetable, herb flower, all flowers, and either tell us what it is and why it's important to you, or ask us what it is and start a conversation about it. And together we'll end up building an archive of identified flowers and captured memories. For example, this is my first bloom, and it's a Zinnia thumbelina. And if you put your username or social or channel ID up in the top corner like that, I'll be able to feature your flowers and memories in the Flowers Everlasting spotlight at the end of my weekly videos. Let me know what you think in the comments. And thank you for dreaming with me today. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you want more information on any of the challenges I'm in, check the description for links to a detailed short that covers the basic rules of the challenge. Until next time, take care of yourselves and keep your heads in the clouds, daydreamers.